What if you forget ascension and focus on turned on embodiment? I want to talk about why ascension teachings can distract from the humanness and enjoyment of embodiment. I'm Christelle Arcucci. You're listening to the Soul Purpose Podcast, the place to learn the lightning path of embodied spiritual awakening with shadow and light integration in order to quit people-pleasing, reclaim power, and create your soul purpose legacy. This podcast is informational. It's also a transmission of power using hypnotic rhythm and energetic healing, which will include a variety in the intensity and speed of my speech. I will use sounding and deep breaths to help you feel and integrate the teachings into your body-mind. I invite you to notice how this style lands for you. Does it take you deeper into your body? Or is it distracting because it's so different from other audio recordings? Your practice is to notice your experience without trying to change it in any way. Be with what arises. What is the point of the Soul Purpose Podcast? Who am I? And what's the benefit of listening for you? The focus of this podcast is to support you to discover your forbidden fruit and delight in eating the most delectable fruit you've ever tasted. The sweet taste filling your mouth, washing over your tongue with the juice running down your fingers, so you can lick up every single delicious drop. Yes, I mean it, but also what does that mean in real life? The forbidden fruit is living your purpose with power and pleasure. Why is purpose, power, and pleasure forbidden? Modern culture has conditioned empaths and sensitive souls to be people pleasers. The program says it's your job to focus your life on doing for others. This is your value. You will know what your loved ones need before they know they need it, and you will provide what they need, always. You will live disconnected from your own body and heart and be completely oblivious to your own wants, needs, and desires. You will sacrifice yourself for others. Your job is to be the rescuer. If you don't rescue the victim, you will be called the perpetrator. This dynamic is called the trauma or drama triangle. I call it VPR for short, which stands for victim, perpetrator, and rescuer. These are the only roles available to choose from in this paradigm. And as an empath, of course, you will choose to become the rescuer. In future episodes, we will explore the trauma triangle in greater depth, but for now, the most important aspect for you to know is this framework creates power over relationships. The focus of this podcast is to reclaim power by creating power with relationships. How do Ascension teachings play into the trauma triangle, you may be wondering? I'm so glad you asked. Transcendence or ascension as the primary goal of your spiritual practice perpetuates the problematic power over model that your human body is a problem or sinful, that you have to get past, move beyond, and overcome the messiness of being human in order to awaken or achieve enlightenment. The lightning path is a rebellious exploration that flips this common model of transcendence and ascension teachings that dominate spiritual communities. The key teaching here is you are not broken. You don't need to change, fix, or get past anything. The purpose is to awaken in and through your body by enjoying all of it, to embrace and be with all of your shadows and light by integrating and embodying your greatness and your greatest challenges. I believe you decided to become human from your infinite creator self in order to eat and delight in the forbidden fruit, the tragedy and ecstasy of life on earth, which will be an experience of both heaven and hell. This is not a problem. It is the point. I'm here to give you the permission you don't need, but for some reason want, in order to enjoy the fuck out of this crazy trip called being human, right here and right now. On a practical level, the podcast will teach you daily recode practices, how to reset your stress response, resolve trauma, restore soul loss, skillfully navigate dark nights of the soul, which is especially important since collectively we're coming out of a global reset as I'm recording this. You may also be looking for meaning, purpose, tools to navigate and bring your soul gifts more fully into the world in order to create wealth, vibrant health, and great love. But again and again and again, I will guide you to find your forbidden fruit and fucking eat it, which may mean enjoying the conflicting feelings of disgust and delight as you move through your process of letting go of shame and enjoying your crazy ass soul-centered life. If you are waiting for someday to create your magical life, someday is today. Who am I and what's my story? I'm Christella Cucci. The very short version of my life story begins with my parents, who were the first in their families to go to college, when my mom got pregnant with my older sister. Although I grew up in a fancy suburb of Chicago, both of my parents were alcoholic smokers, which from my perspective was their attempt to navigate and manage their unresolved trauma. When I was 6 months old, I had a near-death experience, often called an NDE. I stopped breathing and nearly died. This opened the veil between life and death, which means I see, hear, feel, and know the true nature of reality, which may sound fancy, amazing, or like a huge ego boost. But my experience was this access was a total mind fuck for me as a child in a dysfunctional family, because I didn't have a teacher or any way to understand the stark difference between the reality I knew was possible and the reality humans are generally living. Almost dying was my exit strategy out of this life, but my older sister called me back. Earth School is a wild experience of ecstasy and tragedy, love and loss. It contains the full spectrum of human possibility right here on Earth. If you are here, I imagine you're also an empath or highly sensitive person, and what you see people say and do versus what you know and feel in your bones creates a disconnect, and often cognitive dissonance, which makes it hard to enjoy being in a human body in this time in history. This life is a magical and mundane exploration of extremes. I believe all children are born open, curious, playful, innocent, and we remember that love is the source of all that is. You may wonder, what can I possibly remember about being 6 months old? Soul retrieval work and working in the Akashic records grants access to any information, time, or place. It's all available. Almost dying at 6 months old changed my life and put me onto a transformational healing path that demanded that I learn to skillfully navigate being an infinite being in a human body. And yes, I am absolutely still working on that. I was forced to transform trauma into turn on and make impossible dreams turn into my reality. Life will bring you to your knees, likely many times and in many ways. Yet the focus is not to transcend human experience by moving into the upper chakras or trying to finish the work of the 3D. The focus is to enjoy the fuck out of the madness, mayhem, and mind-blowing possibilities here on Earth. This path calls you deeper into the experience of being human, deeper into the mud and muck and hard stuff, and to find the energy and power in experience. Not to try to escape being human by being good enough or meditating enough or wearing your mala beads or doing your EFT. Those are all valuable tools. Yet, if you're focused on getting beyond human struggle or trying to be saved, you're going to get stuck. Eating the forbidden fruit means finding pleasure in the sacred and profane. I know it's an unusual path, yet it's the lightning path of embodied awakening, which is to not look for enlightenment beyond the body, but in and through the body, and in the real challenges of being human. My focus is to help you navigate Phoenix life reset experiences when your life falls apart or burns to the ground because of illness, death of a loved one, loss of a job, home, marriage, child, or pet, and skillfully come out of this global situation that has reset the whole world. I want you to have fun and play with the craziness of being human and restore your intuition and direct access to your creator self so that you will know without a doubt what to let go of, what to take a stand for, and how to create a life sourced in great love and truth. No matter what is happening inside you or in the world around you, you will create beauty from tragedy and have fun with, even find pleasure in the shadow, unwanted, uncomfortable aspects of your unconscious power as a person, which is the power to create and destroy. A metaphorical death, just like a near-death experience, is an initiation into a new chapter in your life, an opportunity to change. Yet often the unconscious programming is so deeply ingrained, you will tend to fight to recreate what you just had, instead of creating what you truly want. I want to co-create new, turned-on possibilities with you. I have spent my life on the personal and professional transformational path, with in-depth studies about health, spirituality, psychology, metaphysics, magic, fitness, shadow work, stress response, soul purpose, navigating trauma, abuse, loved ones' addiction issues, the extreme stress of health challenges, and nearly dying hundreds of times. I've experienced so many incredible things in my life, and also I have a pretty impressive trauma resume with so much loss. I have created a rich life, not in spite of these challenges, but because I learned to transform wounds into wisdom. Creating a rich life is a unique and individual process of determining your values and designing your life and business based on your bold vision. The intention of this podcast is to guide you to create a rich life in your body, mind, and being. In order to create physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial wealth. This is an in-depth and edgy exploration of power, sex, desire, money, and soul while living your embodied soul truth. We will dive deeply into, roll around with, and get intimate with daily tools to come into the greatest soul alignment that is possible for you. There is literally infinite information available in the mobile phone in your pocket, yet even more is available by accessing and embodying your creator self. Living as your creator self will transform old limitations and get to the heart of your purpose, power, and pleasure so you can create your lasting soul purpose legacy. Your soul is calling you to rewire your brain, change your habits, transform the choices you make in order to move from survival mode to thriving mode and embody the full potential of your soul. The focus of each episode will be short, with practical tips that you can implement immediately. The focus for today's episode is being with your human experience. Be mindful when you tend to push away or pull towards you any experience. Can you be with your human experience? Thank you for being here, and I look forward to walking this soul purpose path with you. You're listening to the Soul Purpose podcast, filled with teachings and resources for the lightning path of embodied spiritual awakening, with shadow and light integration, in order to quit people-pleasing, reclaim power, and create your soul purpose legacy. You can access the free Soul Success Journal and meditation, along with all of the episodes of the podcast, at soulpurposepodcast.com. I believe in you and the magic power of your soul. I'm signing off with love. Christelle.